There are two ways to reduce suffering. One of them is detachment. Buddhism teaches you that you have to detach yourself from the worldly problems, from everything, from your mother yelling at you, from your own emotions, your own thinking, your own way of being. Everything. You should detach from everything. And you see, even Stoicism, even psychologists and philosophers tell you to do so, to detach from your worries, to detach from your stressors, from all of these intense emotions that you feel. But you have to understand there are two ways to reduce suffering. One of them is detachment, and the other one is actually changing your circumstance. Of course, both of them are incredibly hard, incredibly hard. But the second one actually changes the situation. And the problem is that we do not view the real world as our internal world. We do not view all of the rules that apply in the real world the same to our internal world. If a window breaks and then you are cold, all you want to do is fix that window. Of course, you are going to be pissed or probably angry because it got broken. But you have to understand that that means changing the circumstance. You do not just detach from the problem and just ignore it because it will be there forever. If you don't fix or change the circumstance, of course it's going to still be there. Even if you change your perspective and now you see, oh, I have a breeze of fresh air continuously. Of course, you can change that and you can do that, but the window will still be broken. You have to understand that you should change it if it actually bothers you instead of detaching. It's so bad to actually detach from the world. Every time you detach from the world, you lose that opportunity to actually learn more about the world, to improve your circumstances, to learn and have the abilities to actually have a better life. And you see, through engagement with life, we get experience. And by getting experience, we actually improve our lives even more because we now learn what to do in more situations when they arise. You see how it just perpetuates more and more experience as opposed to suffering. The more you engage with the world, the more experiences you have. Everyone who you know that talks about detachment, if you really look at what they did, they actually engaged with the world. Why do you know about the Buddha? Why do you know about these Stoic philosophers? Why do you know about these people? Was it because they detached from the world? No, it was because they engaged with the world. So you see, it's sort of like a rule that doesn't apply and also applies, and it's so confusing. Of course, it's good to just get over your problems, but detachment is really just a patch. It's not really the cure of everything and all the ailments that you have, but we want to put it like that. We want to transform it into this end all be all of solving all of our problems. It's just you are not detached enough. You are still clinging to this reality. Of course, because I do live in this reality. And of course, I'm attached to it because it is practically impossible to detach yourself completely from it. I think that these people, all they want is to be like a robot and not feel anything and not really enjoy or really experience anything. All they would want is just be like this amorphous floating being. That's not really existence. That is just merely nothing. It's nothingness. You have to understand that we do care about stuff. No matter what you say, you do care about stuff. And you do get emotionally affected. And you do get these parasitic things in your brain, these parasitic thoughts and ideas, and they do affect you. But you have to understand that it is not through detachment that we learn how to deal with life. You see, detachment actually teaches us how to have less and less and less experience, less life lived, because we extract ourselves from the situations completely. You have to understand that in order to actually have the right ideas, the right experience, a life worth living, you have to engage all of the beautiful things that life has to offer come from engaging and not by disengaging, not by detaching from it. Everything, no matter what. If it's adopting a dog, if it's having a kid, having a relationship, all of these things require a lot of involvement. And the more involvement you have into those things, the better they are. Of course, everything will end. And that's the problem. Everyone believes that you shouldn't attach yourself that much because everything ends. A relationship can end. You just put your way away all of your power and you give it to this other person to do whatever they want with your emotions. Yes. Yes, and yes, and yes. That's exactly what it means, because it is truly directly proportional to the amount of pleasure, to the amount of excitement, to the amount of living. The more you give away, the more you put yourself out there, the more you engage, the more you live, the more you require of yourself to put yourself in these situations, as opposed to detaching yourself. It is so important to actually understand that it is engagement that gives us all of the pleasures of life, no matter what it is. If it's watching a movie, if it's enjoying a dinner, if it's actually trying to build something, that's true engagement. Because you see, we also get confused between engorging, consuming, and actually engaging. Most of us, don't engage at all. The problem is that most people are disengaged, are detached. The world is too much detached. It doesn't care. And all of a sudden, they do care. It's so crazy because they do not understand how to properly engage with the world. So when they get pulled towards something, they attach themselves so hard, that of course they're gonna get plastered everywhere in the universe, because they do not understand how to actually attach themselves really healthily to something, to an idea, to an ideal, to someone else, to a relationship, to whatever else. They do not understand, and they do not have the patience to actually learn how to properly engage with the world. You see, caring about almost everything in your life doesn't generate suffering automatically. It doesn't. You have to understand that you know how to care. You learn how to care when you engage with the world. You know how to actually care in a way that even if it ends, you will still feel great about whatever happened in your life.